It's Thursday night. Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of that SEC Powers Hour. Joe is here with me. Joe, I got to tell you, man, tonight is a first. Something is happening right now, live, as we broadcast for the first time in the history of this YouTube channel. You want to take a guess what that is?
I don't know. What would that be? Are we talking about rankings or anything like that? What are we talking about?
Oh, we'll get to that. But no, this is on a more personal level. One quick look, one more chance. I'm gonna give you one more chance.
I'm suddenly winning in the head-to-head competition.
Oh, poor little brother. No, that's not it at all.
No, that's not it.
No. See this hat? You like this hat? This is a good looking hat, yeah?
Yeah, you got some swag over there.
See what that says? See what that says?
Hedges.
That's right. That's right. We're the dogs are at home for the first time in like 35 days. Like, it's crazy. And so I figured, in honor of them coming back home finally after like traveling the globe and, you know, doing all the things, I would rep rep the hedges with one of my new hats. This isn't my hat, but it fits. Right. It's all about the dogs. And since I was going with the home whites again, I thought I might ought to spice it up a little bit, put a good lid on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that too. We'll get to that too. Don't you worry.
It looks good. I like the hat though. I mean, you know, I got a little dome shine going on today because I didn't have time to actually turn on my studio lights and do the things that I should do. So, you know, I'm just with the bright overheads going on today. So I could use a little lids, what I'm saying. I don't know.
Well, see, here's the thing. If you guys love this hat, this is not my hat. This is made by the good folks. And I shared this on my Instagram, so I'm not telling tales out of school here. This hat's made by the good folks over at Pete's Jack Apparel. So if you love the hat, if you love the show, maybe reach out and let them know. We could partner up a little bit, a little partnership, a little something. Just saying.
Something.
A little something.
Little something on the skeezy though. little something on the skis. Right,
little something right there. All right, man. I had to go with a hat too. I was out today. I went with I took my littlest on a field trip today as a parent chaperone, and we spent all day out in the mid 40-degree weather. It was raining. It just did a number on my hair, man. My hair was frizzy, curly, all kinds of crazy. I had to cover it up. with a hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. Y'all know what I'm getting at.
Right.
All right, that's enough of that silliness. Joe, let's take stock of what happened last week. Now, I did poke a little fun at you last week about how we were doing in the standings, right? And you took it like a champ, you know. Even though you stole my ring, I told you there was some karma, and it was starting to show up in your picks. But see, then we picked games last week. Check out the standings. Here you go. Just to show you guys I'm never lying to you. There they are. If you saw that quickly, it didn't lie to you. Joe won the week at 6-3, and I went 5-4 last week. So there you go, Joe. Congratulations.
If I had a mic, I'd be dropping it right now.
Right now?
Oh wait, yeah.
Oh, you do? You kind of do, sort of?
Kind of. You know, I can't really drop it. I just kind of flex it a little bit.
What's that? What'd you say?
Mm-hmm.
What was that? It just sounded like a bunch of screaming goats to me. I don't know.
A bunch of noise.
What?
Just a bunch of noise.
What?
You tell about it. Timothy Jones, you tell about it in the chat. That's right. You go, Joe. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Tim and Carol in here with us already. We had to bounce the showtime around a little bit. We'll see how many people actually make it in here with us. But thank you guys for being here for the live.
Jeremy Nix want to talk some business.
Wait. Jeremy Nix. Oh, look at that.
I'm all about some biz.
That's right. What was it you said last week, Joe? Something about I'll Venmo you a little something.
Oh yeah. He's got some money on it. That's right.
That's right.
Am I gonna have to hit up the old Venmo? That's what it is. That's what it is.
You got to sort that out. I got nothing to do with that. That's y'all. Hit him up in the DMs. That's how you take care of that. That's how you do that. All right, Joe. Another week, man. More college football was played. My dogs went down last Saturday. Didn't look great. Didn't look great. I talked about that a lot on the podcast this week. And then, of course, the thing that everybody has to talk about, we have to do it too. It's obligatory at this point. We have to mention the college football playoff rankings, Joe. Here they are. I'm going to throw them on the screen and let you get a good look at them, let you know what's going on here so you know what's shaking. You got the Oregon Ducks in at 1, Ohio State 2, Texas 3, Penn State at 4, Iowa still undefeated, BYU still undefeated by the hair of their chinny chin chin, Tennessee in at 7, your favorite Notre Dame, Miami's at 9 even after a loss, and then there's Alabama like a bad penny. They just keep showing up. Mississippi,
you hear that, Herb Raj?
Mississippi jumps into 11. Georgia's there at 12. But see, Joe, the way this works is Boise State would actually get that last playoff slot, not the Dogs, because they would be the highest ranked group of 5 team. So your field, your top 12 get in if it started today. That wouldn't include the Georgia Bulldogs. So I'm curious how you feel about it. What do you think? Oh, wait a minute. I got you on the wrong screen. Let me get you back up here. Sorry. My bad, everybody. Get you back on the good screen.
Well, y'all see that there seems to be an occurrence of this about. Don't put Joe on the screen no more. Herbert Raj done kicked me out of the show. Randy's just slide me on out the show. Just slide me.
Gremlins. It's just gremlins. It's just gremlins. That's all it is. Just gremlins.
Well, first off, you talk about the rankings.
Yeah, the rankings. I can throw them back on the screen at any point. You let me know.
I mean, you just go right ahead. Just throw them right back up.
Throw them back up there? All right.
Don't need to see me. Need to see the ranking.
Here we go.
Notre Dame at 8. Yeah, that's terrible. Penn State's just like a placeholder. There's no reason for them to be there. It's just somebody put a white hat in there. You know, that's Penn State. BYU, love you, but you don't need to be at 6. So that's, I mean, Miami, does everybody not know that Miami is going to just implode now? I mean,
they're just going to wet the bed. That's what's going to happen.
I told you they were going to lose. They did. And now it's all downhill from here. You know? The way I see it is you got 3, probably 4 right there.
Yeah.
That they just don't even need to be there. They just don't.
Yeah.
So I'm not real concerned about it. Not really.
Well, I mean, there's still a lot of football to play, man. There's still a lot of games out there, unless you're named Ohio State, because everybody knows y'all play like 1 game a year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And then there's Texas. Penn State's played exactly nobody. Indiana is essentially, for the nation, they've got like a 1-game season coming up where they're going to have to play Ohio State. So we'll see how that goes. You know, and everybody else, I mean, there's really only a handful of teams here that still are going to play consequential games if we're talking about inside the SEC. Because you got Georgia, Tennessee this weekend. That's going to shake some things up. And then down the road, you've got Texas A&M and Texas. So that might have a little something to say about it. And Colorado is trying to mess around and get into this 12-team playoff, you know, which, you know, it could happen. So it's going to be interesting as we keep playing here. But I just had to hear what you had to say about it because I've got a little something to say about it myself. And it's going to sort of put this into perspective. And if at any point, again, I can throw it back up there if you need me to. But of the people that are currently ranked in the top 12, Texas at number 3, they have precisely 0 ranked wins. Penn State, 0 ranked wins. Indiana, 0 ranked wins. Notre Dame, they lost to a 5-4 Northern Illinois team at home. Okay? Meanwhile, Georgia, who currently sits at number 12 and would be out if this thing were to start tomorrow, has a double-digit 15-point win on the road against, at the time, number 1 ranked Texas, and a 28-point neutral site win against Clemson, who was ranked number 20 now, but at the time they were like number 15 or whatever it was. I mean, Georgia has the number 1 strength of schedule and the number 3 strength of record. Texas has the number 56 ranked strength of schedule and the number 10 strength of record. Tell me, Joe, are all these things equal to you?
You know, we're getting to the holiday season.
Yeah.
There's a couple movie references that come to mind when we talk about this kind of stuff. Well, actually, there's three.
I was going to say,
three.
I bet you I could name like at least one of them. At least one of them.
Give it a whirl.
Okay. You and I, we love the holiday season. We love Christmas. Mm-hmm. I'm betting that at least one of those has to be the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation reference, where all the business people are walking by and he goes, and he's saying something to each and every one of them. And the more that they roll by, it's like, forget you too, forget you, forget you. Yeah, you too. Yeah. Is that at least one of the references?
Yeah. It's like, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, kiss your ass, kiss his ass. That's pretty much the way it goes.
Yep. I like that. That's good stuff right there.
One of the others comes from that National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation too, when you got my boy standing outside in his robe and his hoodie with little bare ears, little happy music playing, and he's just, emptying the old toilet. Merry Christmas! Shitter's full! Yeah, well, the shitter looks pretty full in that top 12 right there, as far as I'm concerned. And, of course, the other reference was one of your favorite movies, Die Hard. Where you got old Bruce Willis.
Absolutely.
Laying in the air vent going, yeah, come out to California, come out to the West Coast. It's nice. Weather's nice. We'll have fun. Yeah. And all the shit's just blowing up around. Kind of all the same thing right here that I see in the top 12. It's, Merry Christmas. Shutter's full. That's what I see. That's what I see.
Oh, it's just overflowing.
Notre Dame being ranked is... I just don't even know what to say about it. I mean, here comes, I mean, why? Why? And the final reference, actually, before the one about Chevy Chase greeting everybody, the other reference that I was going to give you comes from the same movie. It's like, well, then, why is the window broken? Why is the floor all wet, Marge?
I don't know, Margo.
I don't know, Margo. How's Notre Dame ranked in the top 50? I don't know, Margo.
Oh my goodness!
Why not rank Georgia Tech fourth? Let's just throw Tech up there.
Since we're already headed down this road,
Southern's playing pretty good.
Since we've already headed down this road, I got one for you, Joe. I got one for you. He comes outside with a hockey mask and the chainsaw. He's like, where are you going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you. That's how I feel about these rankings. Yeah. You can't say that to me. I wasn't talking to you. So
I wasn't talking to you. That's right.
I'll show you where to put these rankings. But with all that said,
Kennesaw State had a big win this year. Let's rank them. They're one in like 2 years, but they had a big win. Hello, Notre Dame.
That's the way it sounds up in here.
It makes as much sense to rank some of these people. Kennesaw State is the one getting screwed here, Randy. Oh. I mean, that's who's getting hosed here. It's Kennesaw State.
Okay. I'm hearing it. I'm here to listen to the rant. It works for me. Here you go. Good job, Joe. That was a good one. I enjoyed those references to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Just to put a button on that, Joe, I think that if you don't watch that movie at least once during the Christmas holiday season, I don't think I can trust you. I don't think we can be friends if you don't watch it at least once, at least one time. All right, man. So that's our feelings about the college football rankings. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, committee. Whatever that's worth. Let's go ahead and move into the game of the week, Joe. I looked around. There's not a lot of huge games this week. There are a couple that I find really interesting. Another one we're going to spend a little bit of time on, but the game of the week has to be Tennessee coming between the hedges to take on my Georgia Bulldogs. Joe, come on now. What are you thinking right now as we get ready to do this thing? Because I heard tonight that it looks like this dude right here, Nico, there was some question about whether or not he was going to play. He's going to play. So good on you, Tennessee. Put him out there. Let's see what happens. Because the last thing I would want to hear after the Dogs have handled the Volunteers the way they've handled them lately, the last thing I want to hear from a Volunteer fan is that you only win because Nico didn't play. So if the Dogs go out there and win this thing, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Now, we can get into whether or not they're going to actually win the thing, but at least that's off the table. So Nico looks like he's going to go. Now, as far as the Dogs are concerned, though, they've got issues of their own. I saw the injury report this week, and virtually the entire running back room is on the injury report this week. There's one dude, and he's a good dude, but it's the freshman, Frazier, who isn't listed on the injury report. Everybody else, some sort of broken, some sort of banged up. So Georgia is not the only one that's going to be, potentially worried about a little bit of,
oh, no.
I mean, everybody's got something going on this week. All that said, I've got a lot to consider here. I would love to hear how you are feeling about Georgia and Tennessee this Saturday.
Well, let me just give it to you like this. I know my boy there. You got him on the screen, number 15. He's been catching a lot of it. Been catching a lot of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot. Here in Middle Georgia, a whole lot of talk about, old 15 and, old Gunner Stockton wanting to, try Gunner out. A lot of talk about bringing in a new recruit, 2025 class, all that stuff, which really doesn't matter. But I'm standing strong behind my boy. I mean, I am. I think Carson is still a really good quarterback. I think he's still a really good player. Yep. I have played the position. I know I don't look like it, but I have. And it's a tough position to play. And I tell you what, I had a coach say this to me one time when I was in a camp up in Beaufort or Commerce or something like that.
Yeah.
He said, you know what, when you're playing the game of football and you're a quarterback, he's like, you got to be able to keep your head when everything else around you is going crazy, right? When everybody else is losing theirs, you got to be able to keep yours. And sometimes you lose your own. And, Carson's got a little bit of that going on. I think he's had a little bit of that going on. But I think you said something in the beginning there. It's going to make all the world a difference. He looks around and he knows that everybody in that running back room is beat up. He knows they're all banged up. And he knows that he's got to come out and play a game. And I think he's going to come out and he's going to play a game. I mean, sometimes you just have to be and not think. You just got to go play. And I think if we do that, if he can do that, get through that and just go play, I still think he's the best quarterback in the country. And I still think he'll go out there and get it done. So, it's just between the ears. That hardest 6 inches to take care of is right there between the old, ear canals. And I think he's just had some hard times up there, but I think he's going to get through it.
See, I mean, you're kind of preaching to the choir when you're talking to me. I spent the better part of an hour last night breaking down what happened at Ole Miss and what I think is going to happen moving forward and why I think it's happening. And again, I'm going to say it here for everybody to hear. Carson Beck has not played well this year. He has made some choices that are not good. Fundamentally, he's got issues, things that are not the way they need to be. However, his biggest issue right now is that he has, his offensive line is betraying him, and he's not doing anything to help him. And the way he's moving in the pocket and his wide receivers, right? They're not winning when they're one-on-one. They've dropped the most balls in the country this season. They lead the nation in dropped passes this year. The running back room, injured, beat up. The offensive line, different combinations all season. No continuity. And all of that is not what we expected from this offense this season. I just saw today, I was looking back through some of my previous work, and prior to the season, I laid out why this Georgia offense could have been the best Kirby Smart has had during his time in Athens. I fast forward now a few months and you see what has happened, not the results, but just what has happened that has made this unit today not what it was when I made that video a few months ago. You don't have at least 2 wide receivers that you thought you were going to have, right? You don't have a running back you thought you were going to have. And you've got a quarterback that has been less than stellar and an offensive line that can't seem to get out of its own way. You know what I mean? So everybody thought this was going to be the unit that was going to drive this Georgia engine this year. And it just hadn't looked that way. And if there were ever a game to get it right, this would be a great one. And all year, everybody's talked about how Georgia hasn't played a complete game, right? They went out and absolutely mollywopped Texas. I mean, put them in a corner, took their cookies, stripped them down to their underwear, and said, don't get up till I say so, right? That's what they did to Texas. But that was really just the defense. That was half the team getting the job done. They just did it super well. The offense didn't play well. If there was ever a week that Georgia was going to put it together, this would be a great week to do it because the defense will have to play well if they're going to handle Tennessee. And Carson Beck and the wide receivers, or pass catchers, let me say it that way, are going to have a good week because we don't know what we're going to get from the run game, you know? So if they're ever going to work together and really put out that in tandem complementary football example of what this team could be, this would be a wonderful week to see it, man. Everything's on the line. The elimination word's being thrown around this week because if Georgia loses, the general perception is there's no way they're getting in. And I'm not going to say I would argue that point too hard, but I would say that it's not outside the realm of possibility that a 3-loss Georgia wouldn't get in. But then again, we saw what this committee is doing, how they're valuing losses more than they're valuing strength of schedule, who you've played, all that sort of stuff. So I'm making no predictions about what that committee is going to do. That's outside my brain right now. Like I can't even think about what they might do. Georgia needs to go win and erase all of that this Saturday. That's what they need to do. Now, yeah. I don't know if you got any thoughts about, we're not picking it right now, but I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but I got one more thing. But before I offer it up, I wanted to see what you had to say.
No, I mean, we could go back and we could hash through this, but everybody watched the game and you've made the points. I mean, what you've seen in Carson Beck as a guy that's hesitant, and you know he's taking sacks because he's hesitant. He's getting caught in bad decisions because he's hesitant. He's making throws behind receivers because he's hesitant. I mean, these are things that are leading to everybody, you know, drawing the big bullseye on him. But we all know that there are factors that you've already laid out a play into it. Yeah. It just is going to be one of those games where he's going to have to come out and play. And I think he'll do it. I mean, we talk about the rankings, talk about all that stuff. That's garbage. But the bottom line will just be go out and win the game and see what happens next week.
That's right. That's right. Just worry about the 4 quarters in front of you, right? Just take care of what's in front of you and you'll be all right. Before we get on into the rest of the games, I did want to point out that in this game and in this series right now, the Dogs are currently riding a 7-game winning streak over the University of Tennessee, Joe. 7 years. I've got a baby girl that just turned 7. She don't know nothing about ever seeing the Tennessee Volunteers beat my Georgia Bulldogs, and that's a pretty good way to go through life, if you ask me. So hopefully the Dogs can keep that rolling, and she won't have to know what that ugliness looks like. So that's a 7-game winning streak. Joe, over that 7 games, the Dogs have, in a cumulative score total, defeated the Volunteers 272. They've outscored them 272 to 87 over those 7 years. That's an average victory for the Bulldogs of score 45 to 15. So Kirby Smart, after the miracle that cost them the game in 2016, has just had Tennessee's number. And I can say it again here tonight, just like I said last night. This game, you're going to know how it's going to go really early by 2 things. There's going to be 2 telltale things, and that is, can Georgia run the football? Can they run it a little bit? Because they're going to have to. And that Frazier can do it. He has the ability. Does he get help from the O-line and yada, yada? But can they run the football? on the flip side of that, how is Tennessee able to get after Carson? And can they do it with just 4? Or do they have to bring extra pressure? So those two things, pay attention to that. It's going to let you know how this game's probably going to shake out from a Georgia Bulldogs perspective. So there you go. Those are my pointers as we head into the game. I'll tell you, the guy that I'm really concerned about in the game as a Georgia fan would be their running back. Joe, this cat, he's got 20 touchdowns in the SEC on the ground already this year. That's crazy. And a guy that we really hope can come back and be a part of the game, if you're a Georgia fan, would be Trevor Etienne. Everybody keeps waiting for him to have the breakout game, the one that really makes it happen. And he got dinged up a couple weeks ago. Couldn't really go last week against Ole Miss, had the rib injury or whatever. So everybody's hoping he's going to make his way right on back, and I'm hoping he can.
Oh, my boy Jeremy Nix in the chat. I love it. I love it. You got to throw that on the screen.
It can happen. It can happen, but it's certainly frowned upon. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I'm hoping my baby girl don't have to know what that ugliness looks like. I'm going to stick with that line. I like that perspective. That works pretty good. Joe, let's take this opportunity. Let me jump right back up here real quick, because I want to give us an opportunity to we kind of bounced right through it off the top here. But we're here not because of the good people you see on the screen there. I'm here because of the good people at Bastion Pens. And if you're looking for anything this holiday season, hit up my link below, use my special discount code, and get yourselves what you're looking for. Joe, how can you sit in here with us tonight? What makes that possible?
Well, my good friends at Georgia First Bank, they are a local community bank that really supports business growth and, young startup business-minded people and just young families. They do a great job of helping out the community, and I'm just so proud to have them as a sponsor of everything we do. If you're around the Middle Georgia area looking for somebody to do your banking, somebody to do your business financing with, they're certainly a great choice, Georgia First Bank. So you can check them out online. You don't have to be in Middle Georgia to be a partner of theirs, but definitely go check it out.
There you go, friends. Check out that discount code. It's on the screen there if you decide you want to take advantage of that offer. Joe, aren't you starting the playoffs this week?
We are. We are
high
in the
school
playoffs.
Football action. Let me just drop that in here right now.
Tomorrow night, we are in the playoffs, and it's going to be interesting. Dublin is all 3 of my teams, by the way, that are carried on WRBJ radio in the playoffs. You got Manchester High School over in Meriwether County near Columbus, Georgia. You got Wilcox County in the playoffs again, and, of course, our Dublin Fighting Irish, which you can hear me call the game tomorrow beginning at 7 o'clock in the playoffs. And, by the way, you got a chance for 3,000-yard athletes on the Dublin Fighting Irish, 2 running backs and our quarterback. Both our running backs, 52 and 54 yards respectively, from being over 1,000 yards. And we've got a quarterback at 147 yards, I think, from total offense from being over the 1,000-yard mark. And each have scored 12, 13, 14 touchdowns this season. So, got something really cool going on there in the Dublin offensive backfield. And Justice Terry is at Manchester, and he is somebody that I'll be speaking to in the upcoming future there, Roderick. So, all that good stuff on the way. But, yeah, football action going on the radio starting 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
See, we got everything you want over here. That's why people like to hang out over here, because they learn about all this cool stuff, all this different kind of stuff that we got shaking over here. I'm going to take a second here and get us set up so that we can go ahead and get into our picks. Are you ready to do it?
Let's do it. I'm on a roll. Just call me Butter Baby.
Butter Baby. I'm on a roll. Let's slide this thing back up here. Look at me. I was doing a little looking around early and just didn't even have it set up correctly. Joe, this first game that we see here, high noon kickoff on ABC, so the nation's going to be watching. And, man, I am fired up for it. The Arkansas Razorbacks are going to be hosting as SEC cohorts the Texas Longhorns. Joe, did you know that Arkansas hates them some Texas Longhorns? Did you know that?
I did know that.
They hate them.
Not a fan.
I think that the Arkansas Razorback fan base hates the Texas Longhorns more than they enjoy winning as Arkansas Razorback fans. That's what I think.
Wow.
Hey,
that's pretty strong.
It's not me saying it. We was at SEC Media Days a couple of years ago, and somebody actually asked, they didn't ask. Coach Pittman was asked about a statement that Steve Sarkisian made, and Sarkisian made the statement I just made. And they asked Sam Pittman, as the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, is that a fact? And big old Sam, he thought about it. If he had had a cold beer, he would have cracked one open and had a sip and then answered. But he leaned back and he thought about it, and he goes, I think he's right. I think that the Arkansas Razorback fan base hates Texas more than they enjoy winning as Arkansas Razorbacks. And that is a pretty strong statement. That's what I think about that. So this one, the juices are going to be right up there as Arkansas welcomes in the Texas Longhorns, the number 3 ranked Texas Longhorns, with how many wins over ranked opponents, Joe? Goose egg. Thank you. Appreciate it. Texas rolling in there to take on Arkansas. Joe, who you got?
I absolutely do not have a withering bone or questioning bone in my body about this game.
Okay.
I think old Big Sam Pittman is going to put it on them horns. I absolutely do.
Really?
Yeah, I absolutely do.
Is that just a gut feeling, or you got a little something?
No, that's just all the juices in me said, you know what? Texas fit to go in there and they are going to punch each other in the face.
Yeah.
For 4 quarters, and it's going to be a low-scoring ball game. They have a total of 57.5 over there. Nah, take the under. The spread's 12. It might be a 17-13 ball game. It might be a 17-8 ball game, something like that. Wow. I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair, and I think that Arkansas gets the win.
Okay. Listen. Everybody that watches this show knows that I love me some Sam Pittman and some Arkansas Razorbacks. Our dad used to love Arkansas. That's why I love Arkansas. From the time I could walk, I'm like, I like that. I like the pig. So I always sort of low-key root for Arkansas. And I love me some Sam Pittman. Here's the thing. The quarterback that they got playing for Arkansas, if he's right, like if he's feeling it that day, he's good enough to beat you kind of by himself. Because he can run, he can throw, he's that kind of guy. The thing about him is he's inconsistent. So if you don't get that dude, then, he might turn it over.
It'll be a long day.
Yeah, he might turn it over 3 or 4 times. That's who he is. So he's boom or bust. That's kind of how it goes. They're going to be fired up for Texas. Texas, remember, they barely got out of Nashville. They barely beat Vanderbilt. And
just rolling to Nashville.
Yeah, well, Sam Pittman's an old offensive line coach. You think he's not going to watch those game tapes of Georgia, Texas, and Vanderbilt, Texas, and see a way that he can get after that offense a little bit? And on the offensive side of the ball, maybe work in a little bit of that Vandy option type game to maybe let his quarterback help him out and be an athlete. I can see how it would happen. I can totally see how it would happen.
I tell you, I just think it's going to be a fight.
It's going to be a fight.
It's not going to be a ball game. See, Texas needs to play in a ball game. Sarkisian needs to be in a ball game. Sarkisian and his cufflinks, they don't like to fight. And it's going to be a fight. And that's why I'm giving the nod. That's why I'm giving the nod to Arkansas. Because Big Sam Pittman going to be in there and be like, all right, you want to go big nasty? We go big nasty. We're going to fight.
Oh, me. Now, at the end of the day, there's a talent disparity here between these two teams. So if you're going to win it, you got to make it a fist fight, a rock fight, right? You got to make it ugly. So I can see why you would say that it might be a low-scoring game. Here's the thing. This is a pick'em show. So I'm going to pick Texas to win this game because they played well last week. I think maybe they've talked themselves up enough to where they can go on the road and get a quality win here against a tough opponent, because it's going to be a tough opponent. I don't care what the record is or none of that. This is going to be a tough opponent for them. Everything in me hopes I get that one wrong. I am rooting for Arkansas 100%, like 100.2%, but I'm going to pick Texas. So there you are. It's a pick 'em bear, but I am rooting for Arkansas because I love me some Hogs. And it's not a Texas hate pick. It's an I love Arkansas. I love this kind of game. I hope everything you just said is so true. I hope it works out just like that, because that's what this game needs to be. And now Texas, like Arkansas, they hate Texas. They also really, 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 really dislike Texas A&M. And if you're flipping a coin, I guess it depends on who you ask inside Razorback Nation, right? Which one they dislike more. But one thing's for certain, they don't like either of them. But I know that they hate Texas. So I'm going to be watching that one. You can bet your bottom dollar. All right, let's move it along. UL Monroe, Joe, and Auburn. Joe, I don't know what to make of this Auburn team. I told you before the season started, I thought they were going to be the most underachieving team in the conference. And they pretty much have been. And UL Monroe, they're sitting there right now at 5-4. Auburn's 3-6. Vanderbilt beat Auburn a couple weeks ago. Auburn is at home. So, aliens and their aircraft buried beneath the middle of the field there at the 50-yard line make weird things happen in that stadium. Any shot that UL Monroe goes in there and pulls off the upset and embarrasses Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm on the fence right now to pick UL Monroe. I really am.
Yeah.
I mean, I may just do it. Oh, hell, why not? I'll take UL Monroe. Sure. Why not?
Okay. All right.
Oh, and Jeremy, just so you know, Tyson definitely going to KO some Jake Paul. Yeah, I mean, Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Tyson.
I can't even believe it.
He might be 54 years old,
58,
but he's still going,
whatever.
He's still going to knock the bejesus out of that kid.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah. And I hope he does, honestly. And I'm not even young Mike Tyson, I thought was the most like fierce thing I had ever witnessed in competition. Outside the ring, Mike has had his trials and tribulations. But if I'm just thinking about like the most incredible machine I've ever seen, it was young Mike Tyson. And it doesn't matter what he has done in the ring in his comeback attempts prior to this one. I don't even care. All I can ever see is the Mike Tyson that I knew when he was a young man. And I'm just telling you, Jake Paul, or whatever, Jack Paul, whatever his name is. I don't even know who it is. Whatever his name is, dude is brother.
Yeah. Take your paycheck and fix your face. Fix your face. Because if Mike gets one on you, you're going to need all that paycheck to fix that face.
Boy.
That's right.
I'll tell you what. He's like a made for TV boxer. That's what I think about when I think about that Paul dude. Like they do the Bachelor or whoever, and they're like, and they have this whole thing. That's how I view him. I'm like, dude, whatever. Yeah. You're about to find out. You gonna learn today. That's what I think's about to happen. So we'll see. So Jeremy, we agree. That's what we're saying. All right, Joe. The Murray State Racers and the Kentucky Wildcats. Man, you got to be a good football fan to go watch this game. This thing's 1-9, 3-6 on the Bluegrass. Kentucky's going to win the game, Joe. Come on, right? Kentucky's going to win. They're going to beat Murray State.
God, they better.
Okay. I'm just going to take that as a pick, and we're going to move on. All right. Now, here, I thought about you this week when I saw this game on the thing, because you're familiar with the Mercer Bears. You're familiar with that area. And they are, they are rolling into Tuscaloosa this weekend to take on an Alabama Crimson Tide team that dismantled an LSU team at night on the Bayou last Saturday. That was embarrassing if you're an LSU Tiger. That was sad. That was embarrassing, sad, sadly embarrassing. That's what that was. And I said going into the game that I was betting on Milroe to show up and do what he did the year before, and that's exactly what he did. And there you go. That's why it went down that way. Are you going to mess around and keep your streak alive here? Because, I mean, obviously I'm going to pick Alabama. This is a pick show. So you got any words for our boys over on the Herb and Raj podcast? I think we have done this long enough now to where there's like this huge friendly beef between the podcasts. There's like that SEC Powers Hour and the Herb and Raj podcast. And it's just in good natured fun, back and forth, bullets flying all the time, but it's all in good faith. You got anything going on for them this week? Anything special?
Herb Raj, let me set the scene for you here, friends. You know, I'm closely connected to this Mercer football program. Didn't know if you knew that or not. Closely tied in. And you know, I've called games at 5 Star Field in Macon. I have put on the orange, done that. Bought my son first athletic attire I bought for my oldest son was Mercer football stuff. I want you to know that, Herb and Raj. The team, a dominant 9-1. People don't know. They roll up into Macon, Georgia, what they're getting into. And I mean, nobody knows what they're getting into when they roll into Macon and go to 5 Star Field, because even the fans, you can't give tickets away to a Mercer football game. I know. I've tried. You can't do it. People don't care. Oh. We don't give a damn about Mercer football. Nobody does. Nobody watches it. People go to tailgate. Even the people, now this is a secret, even the people selling the tickets will tell you, we don't sell the football game. We sell a family atmosphere. We want people to come tailgate. So Herb and Raj, as much as I would like to tell you that I'm going to pick Mercer to beat Alabama, there is not one red cent way in hell that Mercer is going to beat the Crimson Tide. But with that being said, will I pick Mercer? Absolutely.
Well, at least we know that you mean it. That you're sincere about it. Yeah.
Sincere.
Oh, that's good right there. Herb Raj, there you got it, buddies. There you got it. This one should be a walkover. Get out there, handle your business. And is it Go Bears?
Nobody in Macon's going to know what the score is anyway. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. It's Go Bears. Go Bears.
Yeah, just Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Where's the cocktails?
Oh, man, I tell you. All right, Joe, LSU and Florida. I'm telling you, that LSU team last week.
That looked bad.
It was real bad. And it was the awful joke. Because even the head coach at the podium in his official role said, if you watched what we just did against Alabama, coming off a bye, you have every right to be like, what did they do for 2 weeks? What did you do? Because you didn't do anything to get any better. That's not good. If your head coach is the man saying that, that's not good. So now they got to pack it up and go on the road and play Florida, who just, got blitzed just like Show said they would against Texas last week. Is there any way, Joe, that LSU is in danger of being in a fight here with this Florida team? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I don't have an update right now. I can look one up here while you tell me your thoughts. But I don't know if Lagway is back or close to being back for Florida. Their starting quarterback, right? So I'll try to find that out real quick. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You look at the spread, LSU giving 4 to Florida. It's going to be in Florida. It's a 3:30 kick. And I don't need any rationale. I'm just going to pick Florida. Absolutely. Picking the dumpster fire to beat the more enraged dumpster fire that is LSU at the moment.
Holy moly, Joe.
Yeah.
The kid got carted off the field against Florida or against Georgia. Gators quarterback DJ Lagway is no longer on the SEC availability report. That means that he's cleared to play. He's expected to start against LSU. All right. Well, I'm not going to lie. I was researching. Did you pick Florida or LSU? Because now we have new information.
I picked Florida. I did.
You picked Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now you know that you got DJ Lagway back against that LSU team. That changes my pick. Oh, man, I didn't know that. See, we're busy over here, y'all. I didn't know. Now I know. Oh, my. Now that I know that, I mean, Florida's got their own issues, right? But they are a big and physical offensive line. They might be able to run the football. What kind of a win would it be for Billy Napier to get a win over a ranked LSU team? How big would that be? Because he just got blitzed last week on the road against Texas.
Yeah.
His job is secure. But if they win this game, Joe, that's 5 wins. That's over. Like the over-under coming to the season was 4.5 wins for Florida.
Yeah.
Man, that
Gets
would
it
be
done.
that would be a big one. And then they still get to play Florida State later. Could this Florida team end up bowl eligible?
Wow.
Wow. Wow is right. Holy cow. I mean, I didn't stop to think. I don't think about the Gators other than to hate them. But when I stop here and think about this, man, it's all on the line. Give me the Gators and DJ Lagway playing for bowl eligibility at this point. There you go.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go with it. It might be a ridiculous pick. I don't care, though. I talked myself into it because I'm good at it like that. I'm good like that.
Sounded good to me.
There we go. All right, Joe. MIZ is on the road over there to take on South Carolina and the Gamecocks. Joe, it's not a night game. It's not a night game like I picked before. It's 4:15. So, I learned my lesson last week. I picked against South Carolina last week. I took Vandy. And it's not anything against Vandy. But South Carolina kind of put me in my place last week and said, what are you doing, Randy? What are you doing? It's November. It's cocky time, baby. Give me South Carolina. They're going to put one on Missouri.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking the Carolina, taking the Garnet. Absolutely. Going to take it. Why? Just because I hate Missouri.
Oh, man, I tell you what. There are a lot of SEC teams right now who are like, can't believe we missed Vandy and South Carolina. How lucky are we this year? Holy cow. Ask Alabama. They lost to Vandy and should have lost to South Carolina. and Vandy,
Herb and Raj, how's that sitting with you over there, by the way?
Oh, my gosh. And Alabama's sitting there ranked 10. South Carolina's at 21. I mean, you know, nobody wants to be like playing South Carolina right now in November. That's all I'm saying. You start getting closer to Turkey Day, you don't want no part of that chicken. That's what I'm saying.
He gets feisty.
He does. All right, Joe. New Mexico State, Texas A&M. I got no time to spend on it. Give me the Aggies.
Yeah, taking the Aggies.
All right. Now let's get to the game of the week. Tennessee and Georgia. Come on. I know we all had a lot to say about everything before. For me, this one comes down to what it's come down to the last handful of years. And that is, can Tennessee run the football? If they can't, they lose. Kirby Smart has put it on film year after year after year that his team is going to shut down that run game. They're going to get after the quarterback, whoever it is, and that offense doesn't have a whole lot of success against Georgia's squad. I'm hanging my hat on the defense this week. I think the offense does enough to get it done. Give me the Dogs to get right and essentially salt their invitation into the college football playoff with a win over Tennessee between the hedges on Saturday. Give me the Dogs.
Yep. And I mentioned it enough, I think, in the pregame or the pre-talk of this game today. I'm going to take Georgia as well. And the thing that I want to watch, I want to see back in Athens, the Dogs playing between the hedges. I want to see if Dog Nation is going to be what they should be and stand behind their man Beck, or if they're going to be out there being all like every other university and, you know, doing the stuff that is not what a Kirby Smart led team and stadium should be doing. Get behind your boy. He's going to have a day. Y'all wait and see. You're going to need him one day. He's going to be there. Stand behind the Dogs. Let's see what you do in the stadium as they beat Tennessee.
There we go. I'm all about it. It is show out time because the Dogs hadn't had a lot of, the fans always complain about not having night games, not having big games. Mm-hmm. They're going to finish up here with a night game, or not a night game. Is it a night game? It's Tennessee. I can't remember. It's a night game. Yeah,
7:30.
Yeah, night game against Tennessee, and then they got a night game against Georgia Tech. So get after it, fans. That's what I'm saying. It's time to show a little something.
Let's see what you're going to do. Y'all going to go in there. Y'all going to talk smack. You're going to go in there and stand behind your boy.
There we go. I'm all for it. All right, Joe. Let's see. What else do we have on the docket this week? We got a little top 25 action here. And I got to scroll back up to the top. See, I left it. We were unprepared. I didn't have it set up for us. but we're
I
here.
gave you an extra hour, man.
I know you did. I appreciate it, actually. Only a couple games here we're going to pick. We're going to stay inside the footprint. Clemson, Joe, they're hanging around, right? They're just hanging around. And they're sitting there at 20, and they've still got an outside shot to maybe get back into the ACC championship game if things go a certain way. You know, SMU put it on Pittsburgh. The last time I thought about Pittsburgh, and now Clemson's got to go up there and play them in the Steel City. Clemson got anything for Pitt, or is Pitt going to rise up and bite them right here?
I got to go with Clemson.
Okay. I kind of feel like I should too. I'm really close to picking Pittsburgh, but I can't pull the trigger on it. I'm going to go with Clemson also. So they're going to keep themselves in contention, and that's the bottom line, and I'm sticking to it. Let's see. Since it's on the screen here, Joe, look at the tomato can that Penn State's playing this week. Yeah. Talk to me about the depth of the Big Ten. Somebody, please. Anybody?
Where's Penn State ranked? What? Number 4?
4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. Let's see how you match. Oh, God.
Oh,
it's
God.
the Boilermakers.
That's right. Tomato cans, baby. Tomato cans. All right, Joe. This one, BYU escaped with a couple of heaven-sent events at the end of that game to give them an opportunity to kick a game-winning field goal and escape in the holy war against Utah last week to remain undefeated.
I told you.
Yeah, you told me. I took BYU too. But this week, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, rolling up the elevation to take on BYU. Joe, something I want to point out to you right here. Number 6 BYU is playing Kansas. Kansas is 3-6. At home, BYU is at home. And they are only a 2.5-point favorite. Joe, you know what they say about that, right? A 3-point favorite, you get 3 points for being at home.
Yeah.
They're only a 2.5-point favorite.
Were y'all listening to the start of this show? What'd I tell you? Who were the teams? They're like, why are you wasting space?
Yeah.
I mean, I picked BYU to win last week, but I told you they don't need to be here. Jayhawks take them down, baby. Jayhawks with the dub in the BYU's house. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
It's pretty.
Start the descent, BYU.
I can't go with you on this one. It's pretty up there. It's pretty up there in BYU territory, but I can't go with you and say that Kansas is going to go get that win. I can't do it. I'm going to take BYU to win this one, mostly just because they're at home. But that's the number 6 team in the country, a 2.5-point favorite over a 3-6 Big 12 team.
I'm telling you, you're missing it. Kansas is going to go up there and get the dub.
All right. Yeah. There you go. Well, that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing it in front of the people, so they can point at me and laugh. Look
at my boy Jeremy Nix in the chat now. We talking business, start of the show. Now he's like, if Indiana wins, let's send that boy some merch.
Oh, yeah. We got some stuff over there. We got some T-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that. So he's saying, how about we make it a T-shirt? Well, first off, thank you so much for saying that you might be willing to represent the pod, man. That's amazing. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Joe, you already owe the man $20. Yeah. So send
the boy some merchandise. Send the boy the merchandise and send me a bill.
All right. Well,
that's it.
Well, we'll figure it out then. We'll do that. Tell you what, Jeremy, do me a favor. Send me a message, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you like, or just email me. You know, the email address is down below. It should be. So reach out to me one way or another. Be clear. Let me know who you are. Let me know what size you would need. And we can get you a T-shirt for sure. Podcast T-shirt. We can do that. No problem. So Joe's already told us. Just send him the bill and I will do it. I will do it. We'll make it happen. So, Jeremy, let me know how to get in touch with you, what size you need, and we'll be in contact and take it from there. So there you go. Thanks for supporting the show, man. I really appreciate it. And here's what I will say. If you get it and you like it and you're wearing it out, if you take a picture of it or something and tag me in it, then I will, we'll spread it around. I'll share it with everybody else. And anybody else that's bought some gear out there. If you want, and I know you guys have it because I see that people are buying stuff. So if you've got some gear out there, take a picture, tag me. Let's share. Let's tell the world. Let's let them know.
There you go.
Because that's a good looking logo, man. That's what I'll say about that. Good looking logo. Joe.
Yeah.
That's it. The picks are
in
for this week. That's it.
All right.
It's not a heavy week. There's not a lot of big games. That's why I was so fired up about the Texas-Arkansas thing, right? Because that's a good game that I can like sink my teeth into. I don't know what I'm going to watch in the middle of the day.
I mean, that's just going to be a dog. Somebody's going to break a beer bottle and they're going to be out there fighting. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you right now.
It'd be like, don't follow me out in the parking lot, man. You stay inside.
Don't want none. Gonna be like the Jayhawks up there. Rock Chalk Jayhawk,
baby. Oh, that I saw them playing basketball the other night, and I was reminded. I'm like, oh yeah, man, basketball's back. And whatever, basketball's fine, but it's getting to that time of the year where you've got college football, NFL, hockey is back, NHL. I love me some hockey. And then you got college basketball rolling out. Women's college basketball's out there. Like, there is so much stuff when you get to this time of year. Like, it can be overwhelming. That's why I decided early on, like, I'm not doing nothing but talking football. It's just Dogs football all the time. I'm like, go Dogs for everybody. I'm cheering them all on. But I only got the bandwidth to talk about football. There's just so much stuff going on out there. So if you get an opportunity, everybody, get on out and support your local teams, especially if you're a Bulldogs fan. Get out there and support your volleyball teams, your basketball teams. Dress up, make it a family night. Have a good time because that's what it's about, man. Collegiate sports, go make some good memories. That's what I say about that. So, Joe, any parting thoughts? We're right at an hour. Anything you want to leave the people with this week? Because frankly, I feel like even though we didn't have a lot on the docket this week, we had some pretty good conversation.
Yeah, good stuff going on. And I'll just tell you want to hear some great high school football, be sure to tune in, WRBJradio.com tomorrow night, starting about 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air. It's going to be good football. Going to be a lot going on. So tune in, check it out. I'll be on the other side of the radio. We'll see you there.
All right, guys. And always watch this space. Follow me on the socials. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because there's all kinds of crazy stuff coming out. New video drops tomorrow, just like every week. Keep your eyes out for that. Give it a watch. Tell your friends. Invite everybody back. Until we see you back here again next time, you guys enjoy the games. And as always, go Dogs!